Well, let's talk about some stuff that happened.
About some
over the weekend.
vidges.
We have the Final Fantasy VII Remake. When I saw this, I thought this is right up your alley because I know you've played it or you're replaying it recently.
I'm playing it, yeah. Need to get back into playing it, yeah. But
and so it was gone for a while when the Sony initially announced this at PSX 2015. And so this was a legit kind of, going over some new footage or new remade footage, right?
Yeah, it's new.
With the trailer. What'd you think seeing that?
I thought it was. I'm glad. So something people were kind of upset about when the new one came out was so the game's had so many setbacks. People were wondering like, is it still episodic?
Right.
And I guess this kind of confirmed that it's episodic because this is all before you leave the starting town. Which for me was actually good because I'm not very far in the game, but everything in that trailer was something I'd seen.
Okay. So they're reimagining it somewhat, or just what do you mean by stuff you just haven't gotten to that point in the game?
No, it's all stuff that since I'm not that far, and this is clearly from the first episode, they didn't show anything further than where I've gotten to.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is good for me. So I do have legitimately time to catch up on this sucker. I do worry about the tone. I know that was something people were concerned about because it got a lot darker after the movie Advent Children came out.
Okay.
Whereas the game is actually pretty goofy, silly. Like, Cloud's very angsty and emo and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the game as a whole is pretty funny.
Okay. You thinking they're losing that, or they're still going with that idea in this remake?
Well, I heard they were doing a mix of the two, and a lot of fans. They let some fans come in and play it, and they said they were very happy with it.
Okay.
But I wonder if they kind of backpedaled, because that looks, from what I remember, like Advent Children Cloud.
Gotcha. Maybe they're pulling from like visual styles, but tone wise they'll keep with something that's a balance. But I do remember those. I didn't play any of the the original, but I do get that vibe right off the bat that it is this kind of more playful, less serious, and I get that they go that route afterwards, but I feel like for a remake they should still lean closer to that original vibe in 7.
You gotta have some of it. It is kind of funny. The thing I thought was neat though is there's a couple of throwaway characters in your party right at the start. I assume they're throwaways anyway. That had a lot of personality to them.
Okay.
But their models were stupid simple. So you kind of just in your head had to make up what they look like.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So it was neat in this trailer getting a vision of what these people, and they still look pretty generic.
Maybe they intentionally kept that.
But it was kind of just nice to have like a face to the voice in my head, I guess,
gotcha.
when I'm reading their lines. So
that's cool. Are you playing on Switch? Because I know there was a
Switch.
7 remake. Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's
which
cool.
is nice.
Yeah, so they did focus on the fact that it is still episodic. What does it make you? How do you feel about them going forward? Do you think we're closer to an episode 1 release, or are we still waiting for a while? Yeah. And then I imagine how long until we what's their timeline to release these? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's gonna be. I hope it's a relatively quick timeline, but it's a lot of stuff to remake. And like the complexity of those cities. Yeah, back then it was maybe a little bit easier to make because
you could lean on the less detail. Now you can't for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. I hope it's good.
I did pull up some details. So one thing I found interesting was, in May of 2017, it was revealed development on Final Fantasy VII Remake had moved from a third-party developer to in-house at Square Enix. So hopefully that's helping them kind of quickly, just get this out of the door quickly. Yeah. At least for the first episode, I think that would be good for the fans to finally get something they can play because it was announced, PSX 2015. That's a while ago. Yeah. So Square Enix has their own E3 presentation. It's June 10th at 6 p.m., which have some more details on E3, but E3 is really close. It's less than a month away, which is nuts to me.